Alright, it's June 1st, so let's do a collection update. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this one here, and that is my hypo lavender striped female corn snake. One that's been in the collection for some time. I actually hatched her here, and you know, she has a holdback, and maybe one day I will end up breeding her. So that is the up too high. So that is the hypo lavender striped, and of course next to her cage over here is the male, and he's in shed. So we'll see if we can't get him out. I go back in. Alright, so here is the second snake that I'm going to show you today, and that is this is a hypo striped, and he is heavily in the shed, and the camera wants to focus on me. Let's see. Nope, go here. Alrighty, so that is him, and I don't know if you can see if it will focus on his head. Nope, it wants to focus on me. There we go. There we go. Let's see. You can see how the eye is cloudy. This guy here is going to be shedding here very soon, so we won't keep him out for very long. And so let's move on to the next. Okay, so up next is another colubrid of mine, and that of course is the scaleless Texas rat snake. Let's see if we can't get her to the scaleless Texas rat snake. I really like her colors. I really like the look of that like burnt orange color that she has with those dark saddle pattern. Now she isn't completely scaleless. She does have her belly scales, and you can kind of see that she still has, if she would sit still long enough, she still has some of her scales running down her back. So that is her. That is the Texas rat snake. Definitely one of my favorites in the group. I wasn't too thrilled about hearing about scaleless snakes in the very beginning, but now that I own one and see that no special care is required, they act and feed and shed and everything as the scaled snakes do. I don't really see no harm in this genetic mutation. So let's put her back, and let's move on to the next reptile. Alright, so the next snake in the rack behind me is this feisty little angry noodle, and of course that is my jungle my jungle carpet python. For some reason I almost thought I was going to say ball python. My little jungle carpet python, and I feel like he's actually starting to gain some size. I don't know, he seems to like he'd much rather bite me than to eat sometimes, so I think he misses meals because of it, but I think he's finally, despite the fact that he is biting at me now, you know, I don't feel like it's near as bad as what it was, so hopefully now he'll start eating more regularly, and we'll really start to see some growth on this fella here. Right? Be calm. You just got to go slow with them. There we go. There we go. So that is him. That is the male jungle carpet python. So let's put him back while we're still on a good note, and let's move on to the next reptile. It's alright. Whoa. So up next is this grumpy little guy here, and of course that is my legless lizard. I disturbed him. He was burrowed into a substrate. I pulled him out for this video, and he is not happy. Are you? That's alright. We won't keep him out long. we just want to show the people out there in YouTube land. And yeah, very cool lizard, very plate-like feeling. So yeah, that's going to be this lizard, and let's move on to the next. Okay, so here is the day gecko hiding all the way at the back. I don't think he's too thrilled with the camera, but you can kind of get a glimpse of him back there, doing pretty good in this enclosure. So I do believe that this dude is a male, and you know, possibly one day we could get this guy a little lady. There we go. There's a good shot. There we go, fella. Ooh, now he's looking at us. But anyway, so that's my day gecko. It's the only day gecko that I have, and like I was saying, maybe one day I will hopefully get him a female. So let's move on to the next reptile. So here is my two Russian tortoises. The female there is eating that commercial diet that looks like Fruity Pebbles, and the male is right there behind. He's got his nose in the corner. He was sleeping. I kind of disturbed them to get them out for the video. Of course, there's water spots on the aquarium because I spray them down quite regularly. But so that's them. That's the Russian tortoises. Okay, so here we are on the other side of the reptile room. It's a little bit of a mess, but there is a lot going on in the room. If you've seen some of the other videos, you kind of have an idea what's going on. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, stay tuned because it'll all be out in a video. So let's take a look what I have over here. Here is the leopard gecko cage, the female leopard gecko. And she is right there. I'll pull you in so you can see. But she's been hiding. I think I've seen her in the lay box. We're gonna have to check that sometime today and see if she has deposited any eggs. I got my citrus, pastel, calico, low expression calico, hypo or het clown, ball python down there. He actually just ate, so we're not going to get him out. He's kind of a very finicky eater to the extreme. I've never had a snake so difficult on feeding. I don't know. It was sold to me as eating rats. I can't get him to eat rats. I can't get him to eat frozen thawed. Unfortunately, it either has to be live or freshly killed, and that is the absolute only way that guy will eat. And I did get a mouse from the pet store, and so we're not going to get him out this time. Of course, next to him is the Savannah and its temporary enclosure, which is why things are getting rearranged over here to suit his growth. And I'll get him out momentarily. Down below that there is the blue-tongued skink, Blu-ray. Some of you may know that, and if you're new to the channel, that's Blu-ray. Up here I have my California king snake, that youngster. The albino Nelson's is up here. I did have him on that other rack you've seen me stand in front of. But he was hiding a lot, and I felt like that meant that he was too scared for that much room. So I put him in a shoebox. So that way, yeah. So maybe that'll make him feel better. But we'll get those out in a moment. Of course, these two tubs here have my Ceylon milk snakes. Over here, tortoises. Down below, this first one has the albino ball python. Then below that is the albino boa constrictor. Actually, it's a sunglow boa constrictor. And then on the very bottom, that is the northern pine snake. So that is all the reptiles I have in my collection. So let's stop me rambling and let's take a look at these guys up close. So that there is my female leopard gecko. And you can see she's kind of hiding. She's slowly coming out. She senses that I'm in here, obviously, because I'm making a lot of noise and racket. So she's come out to see, but that doesn't mean she wants to be handled. She isn't quite that friendly yet. She still doesn't really particularly like it, but some days I can get her out and it's no problem. So we're not going to get her out now. And we got bad reflection going on here. Yeah. Kind of trying to give you a better angle of her, but maybe we can see some more colors. Yeah, that's about as good as it gets if she doesn't come out any further. Well, if she does, we'll come back to it, but let's move on to the next reptile. Alright, so it's going to be a little hard to see this guy. Let the camera focus. There we go. Now it wants to focus on me. Okay, so this is Maximus, my little Savannah monitor. Sorry fella, I'm just trying to get it to focus on you and not me. Come on camera. See if we move in slowly. The camera doesn't want to. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is Maximus. This is the baby Savannah monitor. This is actually the first time I've held this guy. Come on, focus. Focus, focus, focus. There we go. Okay, so this is the first time I've held him since the last video you seen me hold this guy. You know, we're slowly getting there to where we're friendly to each other, or him friendly to me. But, you know, I'm trying to go at his pace and let him know that I am not going to hurt him. I wish I could show you better, but if I were to let go, he is going to jump to the floor, and I don't want to hurt him. So this is how it's going to be, and maybe I can just, when I put him back in his enclosure, we can give you a better shot. So let me put him back, and then I'll bring you guys in. So there he is. Looking all beautiful. That tongue just a-going. I love his colors. I love how bright and vivid his spots are. So that's him. We're going to flip that hide back down so that way he will relax. And so let's move on to the next reptile. Alright, so next I have here is Blu-ray. Of course, my blue tongue skink. It's okay, it's okay. Here he is. He seems to be a bit camera shy. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. There we go. Calm down. Calm down. You got to be careful so you don't fall. All right. So who we have here next is Blu-ray, the blue tongue skink, looking all nice, and he's a little bit grumpy today. I'm not sure why, but we won't have him out long. He's hissing at me. I think you can hear it. Oh, now you're gonna stop? Nope. So that is Blu-ray. We don't want to stress him out too much, but what's the matter? You don't like the camera? Huh? Well, they like you on camera. They like to see you on camera. It's not so bad, see? There you go. Give the old classic tongue flick. Alright, so that's Blu-ray. We're going to put him back, and let's go on and move to the next reptile. Okay, so next up is my beautiful Cinnalone milk snake. This is one of two that I own. We'll just get the one out because they both look pretty much identical. So it'll just stick to the one. This one here happens to be the male that I have, and I do have a female. And maybe once things kind of settle down in the reptile room, I do hope to breed these two sometime in the near future. But like I said, things are kind of chaotic as far as caging and things like that. Things are getting rearranged. So I don't want to bring in, you know, a dozen more babies, 2 dozen more babies. But at some time, I really would like to hatch out some of these guys. It would be a first for me personally, and I just love this bright red color, and this camera is picking it up really good. But I love that bright red color on these guys. It just really is stunning. So yeah, I'd like to see a clutch full of this color just hatch out. I think that'd be pretty awesome. So definitely be a highlight for me. So that's the Cinnalone milk snake, and so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so up next is another brightly colored milk snake, and this one here happens to be the Nelson's milk snake, and it is a tricolor, just like the Cinnalone you just seen, except for this one is albino. So we get a slightly different look, and that's why I call this one Phoenix, because I just think it looks like colors in a fire. So I felt that it was only fitting that his name be Phoenix. But man, look at those colors. Again, another one that, you know, maybe one day down the road I'll pick up another one, a female, and you know, I would love to see a clutch of babies all looking like this. I think that would be really spectacular, and this would also be a first for my personal reptile breeding that I've successfully had done. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you see another one of these on my channel in the near future. Stunning. Look at that. That is a beautiful snake. Let's move on to another beautiful snake. Okay, so here is another beautiful snake, and of course this is a high white California king snake, and don't be alarmed if he bites my fingers again. Getting him out, he did bite me. They think it's okay. You're gonna watch this on the 1st. This was actually filmed the Sunday before. I don't know what that makes today, but Sundays are my feeding day, and so they're gonna get fed. So he thinks I'm messing with him because it's feeding time. Of course, you've seen I handled every other reptile, well, almost every reptile in my collection. So I'm certain my hand to him smells like an all-you-can-eat buffet with all the different varieties of reptiles I just picked up. Of course, he let go right away. He is little. He's just a little guy. I'm gonna start bumping him up and try to get some more size on him, because I think he should get, I think he should be a little bit bigger, but again, we'll see. I think he's ready for the next size, and that would be probably fuzzies or hoppers, depending on who you buy your rodents from. But another very beautiful snake. This is again a California king snake. This is a high white. There is a name for the pattern, but it eludes me at this point. But this particular fella is het for albino, so if I were to breed him, if he was to bred to an albino, we would produce albino babies in the clutch. But yeah, very fun little snake. But again, you shouldn't hold this one after holding other ones, because then you just smell like dinner. Mistakenly, it wasn't malicious. He just thought it was dinner time, and typically Sundays are dinner time. Right, fella? Right, little fella? Yeah. You'll get some food, don't worry. So let's move on to the next reptile in the collection. Okay, so up next, let's get him turned around, is this grumpy fella. And of course that is my northern pine snake. He is in shed. Actually, he just came out of blue, so I expect that he's going to shed his skin here relatively soon, but that doesn't stop him from being cranky, does it? And you might be able to hear him hiss. No worries, that is typical of these particular snakes. They are very vocal to explain their disposition, and we're not going to hold him long. He is kind of showing me that he does not want to be handled, so we're just going to quickly show him to you guys, and maybe next time he'll be a little bit more camera ready, right, fella? Yeah. Alright, so we don't want to stress him out, so let's move on to the next reptile. Alright, so up next is this big girl here. And of course that is my albino ball python. Had her for a good number of years, and she is so super friendly, aren't ya? So this is the albino ball python. Yeah, I just this snake has been with me for about 11 years, I believe. I might have to go look it up, but I believe I got her in '06. So yeah, she's been around for quite some time, and if I had to get rid of every snake, this is definitely one that would forever stay with me. This girl is never going anywhere as long as I can prevent it. So yeah, so that's the albino ball python. And so we're going to move on to the next reptile, which is also the last reptile that I have to show you guys in this video. Come on. Come on. Alright, so the last snake in the collection is this big girl here. And of course that is my Sunglow boa constrictor. And you can see she has got some size to her. I can't get real close to the camera, otherwise you won't be able to see her. But that is her. Of course, you know, she's the biggest snake I have, and you know, she's definitely one of the calmer snakes that I have, and you know, just a real good, pleasurable snake to have. Really happy to have her in the collection, and she is a great animal ambassador for my reptile education program. So you know, the kids always love her. Of course, they all scream, some for happiness, some for sheer terror, I suppose, but at the end they all end up liking her because they can see that she is not going to hurt anybody. So that's it. That's all the reptiles that I own. The only one you didn't get to actually see is the calico citrus pastel, which you know, again, he's in videos, just not today's, because like I said earlier, he's kind of finicky on eating. So if you watched all the way to this part and you're not a subscriber, I highly where are you going? I highly suggest you hit the subscribe button, because I make regular videos, guaranteed one a week. Most of the time it's 2 to 3, depending on what's going on. I have a whole build thing going on for that Savannah monitor that you will probably find interesting. So go ahead and just hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Later.
Shut up and sit down.